Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, we got a super chat from Avery. God Logic Apologetics. Love the panel. God bless David and IP. Oh, hi, Giant DOC. What's up, Avery?
Oh,
Yeah,
Avery's
so
supposed to debate Daniel next week on the Islamic dilemma.
I
Oh,
saw
nice.
that. I
Yeah.
saw
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice,
Hope.
nice, nice.
that's
Yeah.
gonna
We're
be
going to try
great.
to do it. I talked to him about it already. It's going to be fun. We're going to try to do a debate review as well. And then I'll be out there with him in Vegas in a week as well.
Awesome.
Hey, and by the way, I posted a little discussion where me, Avery, and IP walked up to a Dawah booth in New Jersey. And catch that, especially the beginning. We eventually get into the Islamic dilemma and stuff. But just catch the beginning because Avery gives a kind of master class on starting a discussion because we walk up to the booth and I say, hey, I heard this is a place of Dawah instruction. I was hoping we could get some lessons or something like that. I said something stupid like that. And they start saying, we don't want debates, no debates, no debates. and then so I said, oh, but we got these materials here. Can we ask questions? They said, no questions, no questions. And guess what? If that had just been me there would have been no discussion. I would have said, okay, they don't want to, no questions and no debate. Okay, they're not interested in having a discussion. And I would have left. Not Avery. Avery just so you guys have any tracks on Jesus? And they hand him one, and then he goes, oh, so Jesus is a Muslim according to you guys? And he's asking them these like very simple questions, which are leading to more difficult questions. And by the end, they were all crumbling from the Islamic dilemma. So yeah, good stuff.
Check it out, guys. Tiger just posted the link. Check that out, guys. Yeah, it was a great discussion. All right, you guys ready to get back into the video?
Yep.
All right.
And that approach, I felt like, okay, putting them on the back foot, letting them go and defend themselves and go and find the biblical verses is probably a better.
What biblical verses? Hey, Hijab, what biblical verse? Hijab, I already told you. Give me a biblical verse that says Rebecca was 3 when Isaac had sex with her. I will recite the Shahada. I mean, God, for all you Muslims out there, like, how are you not saying, for some reason you believe these guys, no matter how much they lie? These are the biggest, most compulsive liars on the planet. Daniel's fellow Muslims even call him the biggest liar they've ever encountered. They said, you're worse than the Christians we hate, right? And yet here they are just flat out lying, and Hijab is saying, hey, when they tell the truth about our prophet, we'll lie, and they can't stop us. So, then they're going to have to go through the verses. What verse? There are no verses that say what you're saying, Hijab. And you know it because you've been exposed on this. Daniel's been exposed on this. And you guys keep saying it anyway because you're liars who spread nonsense about true prophets to shield your fake prophet from criticism. And this tells us what you see here and how these guys are popular for what they're doing. This tells you everything you need to know about Islam and what it's really for.
Alhamdulillah.
That's right.
Station to be in, then having to always defend yourself and defend. We don't need to do that all the time. Yeah. So, because whatever you say, they're not going to be happy with you. So you might as well get them to defend themselves. I think that's the strongest thing
against lies
with those guys.
He just said the strongest approach is lying. He just said that.
That's literally what he just said, guys.
The strongest approach with them is to lie when they speak the truth and ask you serious questions about your prophet, because you're saying everyone should believe this prophet. They say, okay, what about this? How do you explain this? The best approach is to lie about prophets. The best approach. This is one of the heroes of Dawah saying that the best approach for Muslims when you're asked factual questions about Muhammad directly from your sources, the best approach for Muslims is to lie about true prophets and the scriptures that his God and prophet affirm as the word of Allah. That's the best approach. That again, this should tell you everything you need to know about Dawah, what its purpose is, and about the religion. It's demonic.
Absolutely. All right.
With secular people as well, because what I always point out in these types of debates is there's like a difference between the age of consent and the age of marriage. And you have these secular liberal people, like let's just say they're atheists. They want the age of marriage to go up. They're not even satisfied with like 18 years old. Like there are examples like, an 18-year-old has gotten married to a 20-year-old and they call it pedophilia. That 20-year-old has groomed the 18-year-old to marry her. So they want to keep raising the age of marriage, but they want to decrease the age of consent when it's legal
to address that. Yeah, he's oversimplifying this. Yeah, I totally agree. I would love for the age of consent to be higher. I think it should be 18. I think the age of marriage should be 18. I don't agree with a lot of secular people that want to lower that. But this is not a good comparison, because you could just point out marriage is a much bigger commitment than just a one-off having sex. This is in the secular mindset. I'm not in mine. I'm trying to explain what they actually argue, because Daniel Hakikichu is immune to steel manning. He's a liar. In that, what they argue is that, well, no, consent is you're just two kids having two 14-year-olds having sex is not the same as them getting married, because now you have to live with someone. There's a bigger possibility that you're going to produce children. 14-year-olds should not be having children. They're not ready to actually raise them. The science shows that. So I could see, if I was an atheist, where the secularists are coming from, because you just look at sex as just like a physical act, versus marriage, which is a much bigger commitment, which involves a lot more than just a one-off time. So I'm not saying I agree with the secularists, because I don't want the Muslims will, take me out of context for sure if they got their hands on this. But let's be honest. Let's actually try to steel man what they're arguing. Marriage and consent are two different things.
That's right.
And I would say, what in the blue hell is your point, right? Hey, there are people who are saying that the age of marriage should be raised from 18 to 20. Yeah, there are people who say all kinds of things. Who cares? Your prophet has the stamp of approval of your God and says that it's perfectly acceptable to have sex with a 9-year-old girl, as you both agree, according to the Quran, you could have sex with a 5-year-old. Both of you agree on that. Hijab says, and matter of fact, they both agree hijab says that puberty is not required. And then they both seem to think that you should basically be not harming her in some serious way and so on. But if you could have sex with her and somehow know that you're not harming her in some serious way, then why wouldn't you go ahead and have sex with a 5-year-old? That's what Daniel said. Wouldn't matter. Didn't he say? Then when he got to 4, he said, "Oh, but the parents wouldn't allow it," or something like that. But he agreed. Yeah, that a 5-year-old, totally fine. So, just think about the level of deflection here. Hey, you guys think it's okay to have sex with a 5-year-old? Again, with hijab, it's as long as you're not seriously harming her or something like that, because you got the harm principle. According to the Quran, though, puberty is not required, according to Muhammad hijab. Why? Because that's what the Quran says. And that's how all the commentators interpreted it. So these are two guys who are defending sex with kids, and hijab is defending sex with prepubescent girls. And the Quran and the Hadith allow sex with prepubescent girls. That's extremely harmful. We have tons of data. IP can take people through it if they're not sure about that. Tons of data showing that's really, really harmful. It's way more dangerous if the girl gets pregnant. It's way more dangerous for the girl. It's way more dangerous for the baby. Everything is massively more dangerous if a young girl gets pregnant than if she waits a while. And then you say, okay, when is safety sort of maximized and stuff? Well, that's when you start getting to when she's fully grown. And that's the idea behind saying 18 or something like that. And what's the response? Well, there are people who say wait till 20 and not wait till 18. So you see, there's no basis for criticizing sex with a prepubescent girl or a 9-year-old or something. What? This is how they think. This is insane. These are champions of Dawah here. Like the dumbest reasoning imaginable, like the stupidest counter arguments. And they both defend sex with little girls. And they both will lie instantly and think that the best approach for responding to questions about where all this is leading in Islam is to lie about prophets. And these are the heroes. So, guys, don't tell us about your religion. All you Muslims out there, when these guys become the champions of your religion, do not tell us about your religion. This is disgusting.
Yeah, and talk about Daniel not knowing how to steel man, and his always never fails to straw man. I've never heard anybody complain about an 18 and 20-year-old getting married.
Yeah.
Never ever heard that.
There's Romeo and Juliet laws. So if an 18-year-old is dating a 16-year-old, that's legal in I'm pretty sure most places around the world, because they're close enough in age, even though one is technically a minor and one is an adult. Romeo and Juliet laws. So Like there was a guy at my church, and he was dating a 17-year-old, even though he was like, I think like 22. No one cared. They were close enough in age. Like we were like, yeah, and they're not sleeping together. They waited till marriage. Everyone was fine with it because it's a Romeo and Juliet case.
Yeah, and just to be clear here, because Daniel never seems to understand this, dude. Saying 17 or 18 or 19, what's the best ideal age for marriage? You got some wiggle room there, because that's when people are kind of grown. To take disagreements about 17, 18, 19, 20, what's appropriate, to take disagreements about that as therefore it's okay to have sex with a 5-year-old.
Right.
You're a lunatic, man. You're a straight lunatic. And if it's your religion that causes you to think this way, so much for your religion, buddy.
Oh, man. All right. So do you guys have any idea how this is going to lead into our topic, or can you guys see it?
I don't want to know. Let's just see it.
All right. Let's...
Well, Daniel will find a way.
Yeah.
Be sexually active as a child. So even 7 years old, even 6 years old, they have no problem with that. Why? As long as it's like only a 1 or 2 year age gap.
They have no problem with
6-year-olds.
Yeah, people don't have problem with people having sex with 6 and 7 year olds, guys. Why?
As long as they're not married,
that's
what he's saying. As long as they're not married, you know, like, but and no one has a problem with it.
Yeah. So guys, you hearing this? People in general, secularists, don't have a problem with grown men having sex with 6 and 7 year olds, because Daniel Hakikachu just said it. Book of Trust Me, Bro. That's his study.
Yep.
You have no problem.
Sorry. Yeah, guys. Anyway, does everyone understand why even his fellow Muslims call him the biggest liar they've ever seen in their lives?
Yeah, exactly.
Being sexually active. That's why they have sex education for kindergartners. That's why. That's the whole.
I've never heard of that. For kindergartners. Have you guys ever? I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
I mean, my daughter has gone to a secular school her whole life. She didn't. She's 10. She still hasn't had sex education. So what is he talking about?
Yeah, my kid, my youngest is 7. He's never had any sort of sex education. When I was in school, it was, I think, 10th grade is when we had sex education. It was 10th grade. That's when we had sex education. Keep in mind, but in Daniel's mind, he can find anything anywhere. If he finds a kindergarten where they're taught, he'll just blanket statement. That's how they are. That's what's going on. Kindergartners are being taught all this stuff. That's just how he thinks. He will look for any example of anything happening anywhere in the world. And guess what? It could be like at a kindergarten in Denmark, and he will just blanket statement. This is what's going on in kindergartens around the world. I agree with this. I agree with Fareed and Jake and so on. This is the biggest liar I've ever encountered in my life. And I've said repeatedly, the Dawah guys in general are the biggest liars I've ever encountered. And I've been to prison, right? I've been to prison. I've never seen liars who lie just with as little concern of any sort of consequences, because even in prison, there are all sorts of liars, all sorts of con men and stuff like that. You generally have to be careful about lying because you don't want to get caught. These guys, they know their followers don't care. They can sit there and lie. We'll lie about Isaac. We'll lie about Abraham. We'll lie about Jesus. We'll lie about Mary. They don't care even slightly. And so, but Daniel is like, he's a cut above the rest. He's a bigger liar than even like Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say bigger liar than even Sheikh Uthman. And
wow,
Sheikh Uthman's probably number 2 in more ways than one.
All right.
Even 7 years old, even 6 years old, they have no problem with that. Why? As long as it's like only a 1 or 2 year age gap, they have no problem with 6 year olds being sexually active. That's why they have sex education.
They have no problem.
Complete liar.
No problem.
Complete liar.
Hey, IP, do you know anyone? Do you know anyone who has no problem with an 8-year-old having sex with a 6-year-old?
I know of no one who would have no problem.
I know of no one. I've never heard that from anyone. He's just saying they're fine with it, as if this is general rules of society.
I've never even heard an atheist be like, "Yeah, that's great." Like, never.
Yeah. So, guys, these are the champions of the religion. These are the champions of the religion. These are the guys out there defending Islam. And have you heard one sentence from this guy that is not a lie?
No.
Ever. All he does is lie. And they love him for it. Religion of lies.
Yeah.
Let me know when you want me to share that information, Jay.
Which topic? Which,
On the children that are sexually active.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to wrap up on this one. Let me just see. Let's see.
Okay.
For kindergartners. That's why that's the whole left wing controversy.
Okay. Yeah. This is a good time to do it. It's because Mohammed he's going to make the transfer. So
not the way the Al Zut made the transfer.
Yeah, not the not the way the Al Zut made the transfer.
So according to the National Survey of Family Growth, about 1% of 12-year-old females have had sex. And this proportion 1%. Is in contrast.
Daniel would read that. Daniel would read that and he'd say, "Do you know that 100% of 2-year-olds have had sex in Western countries?"
Yeah. Wow.
Well, no. So it increases, but by 15 years old, it's only 19%, and by 16, it's only 32%. So those, I would like to see that at 0. Still, I think it's bad that it's that high, but still, it's not even 50%. Okay. Now, notice what they also say. In general, these proportions are slightly higher among males and females. Moreover, more than half of females who have had sex by age 10 or 11 say the sex was not voluntary. So these are girls that are victims. These poor girls here. This is not them. Oh, we just can't help ourselves. Like, these are being taken advantage of by predators. Yeah, so and then this is the source. Daniel himself has cited. Daniel himself has cited this. Okay. Cumulative probability of first sexual intercourse among 15 to 44. Okay. 10 and under. Okay. What do you have there? 0.2. 0.16. 0.14. Okay. These are very, very low numbers. At 14%, it's 20%. I don't know what to tell. So that's the age of menarche on the side. So this is when they've had menarche. This is the age. So if you don't understand, so over on the side here, age of menarche, and the rows, the columns at the top, that's when it says age at first sexual intercourse. It happens at 14. If they've reached menarche at 10 or under, 20%. If they haven't reached menarche until the age of 14, it's 5%. So menarche is a big determiner for girls wanting to eventually have intercourse with someone. I mean, for obvious reasons, the urges start to show up. But as you can see here, that's a determining factor. And the later menarche is, the less likely they are to do it. This is a source Daniel himself has cited.
Wow.
And yeah, just I mean, keep in mind what Daniel was just saying was people have no problem with 6-year-olds having sex. It's crazy because he's the only one that I'm familiar with.
Oh,
him and his fellow Dawah guys are the only people I know of who think it's fine to have sex with a 6-year-old. And he's saying other people think it's fine. And IP pulls up the study. 1% of people, 12 years old, 1% of 12-year-olds have had sex at some point. Many of those were victims of some sort of abuse. You're talking 12. You're talking twice. 6 years old. And what's Daniel just saying? Yep. These guys dare to criticize us for thinking it's okay to have sex with a 9-year-old. They all think it's fine to have sex with a 6-year-old. Compulsive liar. Muslims, do not tell us about your religion when these are your champions.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.